Good morning. Good morning. This is Spirit Journey, and today is February 13th, 2019, and it is about 20 to 5 a.m. in the morning. I've been up now over an hour, and I want to share you some thoughts I have based on some videos that I saw. Hope I can remember all of them. It's going to be about different things, about the universe, about some movie that's going to be premiering on Hulu, Hulu, this program. And I think where they all tie in is about teaching people what to think, how to think, to develop a paradigm in their thinking, the way how they treat people. It's all about control. And a lot of things I talk about, it's really about control. I mean, we all heard about control over one race over another race. It goes deep. And it's more than about what they want you to really think about black against white against black. That's the cover story. So I hope I can remember everything. Okay. I was thinking about, I was watching something about, the first thing I saw this morning, it was about this underground city in the Caribbean off the coast of Cuba, West Cuba. It had, they showed pictures of it. It had giant pyramids, buildings or structures that were definitely what they call man-made. Very reminiscent what's there in Egypt and other parts of the world with the pyramids. That's thousands and thousands of years old. So I have no doubt about, based on all this talk, all these other parts of the world that have these megalithics all over. And it's a similar style and everything. And then they talked about, in another program, these astronomers and the development of the telescope, and how with the telescope they were able to study the heavens and the positionings of the planets. And at one time they were promoting, at least the church was promoting, that the earth was the center of the universe, and how some of the scientists were thrown into house arrest or even killed for heresy against the church. You're going to kill somebody because they thought that the sun was the center rather than the earth the center? What difference does that make? You hear me? Why would you do that to someone? These holy, holy people. To kill somebody. You kill somebody for acts of murder, genocide, things like that, but not because of some planet. And again, it's just a belief. And it's about understanding your environment, right? And then the last thing I saw was this movie now, what they're promoting. I think this is the second day that I saw it over the advertisement on YouTube. And it features this woman, a young woman, she could be in her 30s, early 30s. And it's a white female who is very heavy set. And she has an office job and she wants to be heard. And how she is deprecated by others. It's the same narrative. I'm the fat person. I'm the victim. I'm not desirable, yet I'm a smart woman. I'm real smart. I have ideas and that could change things. Enlighten, expansion of thought and evolution of ideas. But let's not listen to her, because she's the fat girl. She's the little dumpling. And as she said in the movie, everybody, treats her like crap. She's not moving up the ladder in the company that she's working with. People have sex with her. And then the guy says, well, you got to leave the back way because his friends are coming. Like to say that they're ashamed of her because she's fat. Growing up, I saw movies that had that similar theme about our body image, that was teaching that being fat was something being bad, being fat that you were stupid, being fat that you could make fun of them because of their body shape. They're all different body shapes. Just like it's the same type of theme that says that if your skin is black and you have tight curly hair and your descendants are from Africa, that you too are in this same pool of disgust, of filth, of being stupid. I always saw this. I always saw these themes of you're not as good as somebody else. And the same trap about being slender and tall and long, straight blonde hair, that's considered good. And you're supposed to be smarter, wiser. And that too could be a trap for some people when you don't fall into those expectations. That here, if you don't prove how superior you are to other people because of your looks, your height, or even your nationality or religion, you too become like a prey to these falsehoods, and that you feel forced to adhere to these principles of deceit and lies. And that's where all these things that I mentioned, whether, the ancient astronomers, these scientists, these anthropologists who find these artifacts, the story about the dumpling girl, oh boy, the racial inferiority complex. They all work in the same matrix of deceit and control over the populace here. We're all slaves to it. And whether you are in the circle, outside of the circle, if you expose the lie, you will become the target of this hatred. This whole system is under a control system of deceit and lies. I started remembering about these astronomers and the churches I used to belong to, and seeing how things really didn't add up. That you had the surface info belief system, but then you had like an inner circle and a thought life and an attitude that was being promoted. But it's just a cover story. And this is what I think. I believe, yeah, there was a world before this one, this current system. And these churches, these church heads, are a cover for this past history. And when they lie, they have to make up other lies to cover the story, cover your real history. And look at the ancient gods that also are discussed here, the gods of the planets, the gods over lost continents, how they're all put at play. I think the modern day scientists and the scientists from the 1600s, 1400s, that they were waking up from a sleep, a stupor. And one by one, the people who were observing the planet, the stars, nature, nature will speak to you, through common sense, that how come things are what it is? And how do I interact with it? How do I fit in the picture? Common sense will speak to all of us. We're all being duped. And these early scientists were speaking out. They didn't know that it was going to be bad for them to notice reality. Why didn't the church want us to know about reality? Are not the church about truth and reality? Or are they the cover-up, the deceiver of the universe, of the planet, of the continents, of the country, of the township? This whole system is under control. A system of control to control you, your thoughts, your attitudes, to keep the system as is. There are outsiders out there who are tricking you, who are putting you in a stupor, who cause all these world wars. These videos I was watching discussed about how did the planets come in these alignments, based on gravity, and if it's the law of gravity, this particular planet or moon wouldn't be in its position, and where did these asteroid belts come from? And then there's ancient stories about these collisions, that there was a war between the gods. And these things hit Earth. And these massive tsunamis happened. And civilizations were covered. And they said it's like a cycle, a 5,000-year cycle that just repeats itself. I think what they're not saying, but they're saying it, is that it's not meteorites that are hitting the earth. They're weaponries made by intelligences. I mean, I don't want to word it like that, intelligent, because there's nothing intelligent about war. It's a war. Planetary wars. And the wars are with other beings. Warring. Shooting up planets. You look at the moon, it looks like all these pock marks on it. It's war. And they're shooting up the universe. They hold headquarters here on Earth. And you notice each of the headquarters look very similar. The headquarters under the waters of Western Cuba, the ancient civilizations of Egypt that's buried under sand. What is sand? It's the stripping of the natural soil of its nutrients, like it was zapped by some force. But because these structures are so big that it wasn't enough sand to cover the evidence of the headquarters. Or in Turkey, those artifacts that are hidden under the sand, Göbekli Tepe, something like that. An underground city, a city that's underground, under the earth. Or in Europe, Northern Europe, like Stonehenge. All these artifacts, these stones, and there might be power within these stones. Are they crystals? Some people work with crystals and that they hold certain resonances that can alter things, that could tap into portals. This earth, in my opinion, is like a depot of infantry from outer space. And they war constantly here in cycles. Like the videos were saying, every 5,000 years or so, a new major war, destructions. And maybe like these, the constellations are just different epics, different stories, and timelines of them to follow. And when the next series of events are going to occur, given a story. Now, in my opinion, the constellation, you just look up up in the sky, and let's say you don't live where it's a lot of smog or lights. You get to see the stars and everything. And I personally don't see any pictures of animals, of beings. It's just clusters of stars. But see, that's where the secret lies. In the story of the constellations, of like a calendar of events, of when certain celestial events are to occur upon planet Earth, like a script. And they just follow the instructions like the Bible. They follow the story over and over again to control you. It's time to wake up, folks. It's time to wake up from the stories of the constellations, the story of the ancient artifacts, the story of being the chubby person that's not worthy of anything. And you notice in old paintings, who are the ladies they would show? But big girls, big, buxom, voluptuous women. Even some of the queens were heavyset, big women. It wasn't a stigma to be heavyset. See that? It's about changing one's paradigm. Food was hard to come by. And when you were heavyset, that was a sign of wealth, baby. Meant that you had food to eat. But the paradigm changed. And when food was plentiful to the masses, then the paradigm was be skinny. Being skinny is beautiful. See that, folks? You see that? You gotta see it. You have to see it. See, these are different cover stories of deception to control your mind, to control societies, to lead you where they want to lead you. And somehow the story of the dumpling and the skinny waif were all part of the same system of deceit. We got to pull off the glasses, these glasses of falsehood, and see the world as it really is. What is it that they're really covering up? Why are the gods even fighting? And why over this planet? If these gods of yesteryear have so much power, have so much technologies, why do they even care about people down here? Can't they just form a robot? Form machines that can do all the work for you? But it goes deeper. And every time when we get close to the truth, there is a change in paradigm. And it goes to show you that each paradigm shift is an obscurification of truths. There is truth behind the fat girl, the skinny girl, the planetary alignment. It's all a show to hide the hand of the puppeteer. Let us wake up. And as in the story of the Wizard of Oz, Dorothy had the power all along. The power was always in her hand. The power was never in the Wizard of Oz, but Dorothy. But along Dorothy's road, the yellow brick road, She had things, elements of truth that walked with her. The Tin Man, the Straw Man, the Lion. These were elements of truth that were eventually to be used for her awakening. All of them actually, all the elements there were actually there to awaken one another. All of them wanted to come out of a slumber, out of a sleep. Let's wake up. Let's wake up. It's time to wake up. I thank you guys for watching. And those of you who like my content, my channel, please subscribe to my channel. You can comment below and share my content with friends and family members. And if you truly love my channel and its content, you may wish to donate at my PayPal Me account, and you can find that link on my channel, Spirit Journey, and on the top right of the banner, you see my PayPal Me link. Just click on it and follow the prompt. I thank you in advance. Peace, love, and joy to you and to all of you who want to wake up and smell the coffee. We're under control and are put in a slumber.